What's good, YouTube? And welcome to pre-sales being restocked over on Tier 0. I've already shouted this out on Discord and Twitter, and of course you can use code WHAT'SGOOD5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly, but as always, I'm going to say my honest thoughts and opinions. I always put the audience first, and for these bundles, I think they're pretty overinflated. While I get Tier 0's job is to balance estimated value pulled and pre-sale prices, $3,500 for the entire Nostalgia set, Master set, and Quarter Century Secret Rare, I think you're better off waiting for a lot of the set to fall out and waiting for the dozen or so of cards in a set this big that end up going up and just hunting those cards yourself and timing it. I don't think that this early, that would be the smartest move, even with the gross amount of product you have to open and the couple of short prints that are appearing, at least in the EU pull ratios. The short prints, all I know so far is it seems that the Dark Magician girls take up the one slot, so they're about 3 times as hard to see as the other cards reported early. We'll have to get more solid numbers on that, and I asked on other cards like Polymerization, does it do the same? And apparently it does not. So Dark Magician Girl collectors, you might want to get those sooner than later, depending. And I am seeing that if we look over at Gamer's Choice, what are some of the only things that have sold out in the US ones? Oh, it's the Dark Magician Girls also. I always try to get this information out to you as timely as possible. Now, one thing that does interest me about the bundles is that you can get the main set and Nostalgia Pool set fully in Platinum Secret for under the cost of a case. I still think buying this early probably wouldn't be the greatest of ideas. I think a lot of Platinum Secrets are going to get thrown to the side as people QCR hunt. I think the set will be mass ripped open, both casually, competitively, collectors, even though a lot of collectors end up going, oh no, it's Rarity Collection all over again, I quit. It's probably the people that already quit saying that, but a couple of people do seem genuine that this is the final straw, and it wasn't just Rarity Collection 1 or 2 and you knew another one of these were coming out. Okay, but I do think Platinum Secrets pretty ugly. I like Quarter Century Secret Rare over time, but that sparkle has kind of mind wiped people to go, oh my gosh, sideways sparkles are cool again, when they used to not matter, when they came in the 10 with Tiger King, which is actually usable in past formats, and it's still under $1. I do think some cards lend themselves to this rarity, but again, this early, I think a lot of these will come down and you're better individually hunting the couple cards you think might go up, saving your money for later, and then buying when a lot of things have gone down in these lower rarities in the set. The main things to think about are the QCRs that likely are underestimated, and then see from there. The master sets, though, in the other rarities get cheaper and cheaper, and that's really a you call. I just personally, for this one, think a lot of the bundles are better off being waited on, in my opinion. When it comes down to the singles in the set, though, we do see Caius atop the set and slightly cheaper than Gamer's Choice, and then Black Luster Soldier sold out. It should have just been fresh restocked, and there we go. Look at that. Serviced by Tier 0. So we do see that Black Luster Soldier and Caius and all these other cards, and just making sure everything's the same priced up there. They're atop the set with Blue Eyes and Thrust. I did not think that atop the set should be Engage, and Gamer's Choice did knock that down, but they seem to still really like this card. So when it comes here, it's like literally 75 cents under your choice of EU print over here, NA print over here, and a lot of these top prices will get you free international shipping from Tier 0. Bonfire makes sense as well. The Shizuku Altar at 66. Let's see where it's at over here. Actually down to 50, so way cheaper on Gamer's Choice. The Dark Magician Girls in stock here if you're still wanting them, because again, these are probably going to be some of the hardest things to see out of the set. My personal order of importance to them, I think it's the 10 art right here is number 1, movie pack number 2, and the old school 10 art in number 3. Although they're all priced the same, that's my preference. I think this is a super unique art that lends itself to that old school Dungeon Dice Masters promo, and then this one. But like, again, Dark Magician Girl collectors are a special breed. They're going for each and every iteration, and I'll bring something else up about that in a bit. But when it comes to these, I do think they'll be hunted after, but I think this one would be my priority, and maybe the movie pack, and I would probably wait on this even though it is shorted. It's not a very reminisced on or loved art. Stratos up towards 50. Max Rarity Hero players are filling it. I would have thought this would have been 30 to 35 early, but the Starlight and the Ultimate held such good value, but I still think 30 to 35 is more appropriate for this. They have engaged down at 60. I feel like max that should be 50, and then it's going to cannibalize some of the Alter Arts value. Chaos Emperor Dragon here, it's the eroded version, so for Time Wizard players, it's not going to be their preferred version, and that's another thing that the set kind of let down just a bit. When it comes down to Cyber Dragon, it's the Alter Art, not the OG, so it's not going to be as loved. I personally love this art, but not as many people are going to be as excited. Dark Paladin is up way versus early pre-sales. If you recall, I did think that that one would be a bit more notable if we're talking anime moments and stuff like that, and its past performance of other versions on the market. Dark Magician is up here. I feel like it's not as reminiscent and love the LOB art. I feel like that should be more a 25-30, but there's so much different calculations into how hard it is to pull each individual card in the set, but not everything can be money. I think the Charmers also overestimated their real appeal was just how hard they were to get in Starlight, along with their playability that would come back into metagames. I feel like Area probably is the best one. I feel like Dark will go down towards 25-30 if even, and I feel like a lot of these other cards probably a hair overestimated. Now, Thunder King Ryo, even at 40, I do think that that's going to be one of the more sought after Edison cards. I would think 35 start and go up towards 50 quickly in my mind, especially since it's stuck in the nostalgia pool and doesn't have all those other rarities. I think this is definitely one to get in QCR. I think early is good. Upstart Goblin's another I like, but it's about priced where I think it would settle after buyouts, so I don't know if getting it early is the best call, and sometimes whenever I have that train of thought, it gets bought out way quicker than I think, because people will want play sets. It will find its way into past and current formats, and Upstart, it's just really a huge thing of the meta in both old and new school depending on the decks. SP Little Knight and Platinum Secret 40 over here too for its highest in the set. I just don't buy into it without a QCR, since it already came QCR that this is going to be that sought after as a high rarity. It's mid-max at best, and you have competing rarities within this own set of like collector rare, and how are they going to look? And we've seen Platinum Secret go back and forth with collector rares on certain cards before, but it feels like Platinum Secret tries to be that second wheel most of the time to QCR's first wheel. Red Eyes Black Dragon, it's the altar art. I don't think as many people like this specific altar overall, so I think it might be a little overestimated. I did hear the God cards might be shorter in the set and that numbers need to be double checked. I again think that these versions of art aren't as nostalgic and other arts are liked more, and after seeing how the Pharaoh rares performed long term that are still so hard to get, these probably won't be holding up that much value. Now, Absolute Zero, I could see that being 30 pretty easily, and after the code it's about there. That's one that I definitely could see, but again, it's all speculation when we're talking these prices. We don't know how the market's going to go. Max Rarity Heroes, I just never bet against. Again, special breeds of Yu-Gi-Oh! Collectors, Max Rarity Heroes are one of them, and I do think this will be considered max at this point. Substitute School Brain Control being the errata is just bleh, puke. Graceful Charity's a pretty good one. Heavy Storm's a pretty good one. Polymerization Altar Art is something I would probably prioritize, even if it's not shorted. I think that the Altar Art is something a lot of people will go for and has heroes on it, so it fits the hero collection theme. I really like that one. Leeb, a lot of people were excited for, but I think this price is overly excited. I feel like it's an 18 to 20. House Dragon Maid, the waifu tax, the eternal rivals of Market Watch. I always underestimate them. I want to say this is too high, but honestly, 30 pops into my head, so I don't know about that one. But yeah, Neptibus, a lot of people do max rarity mermails. I would have thought 25 to start, 33 feels a little high. Fusion Destiny has its place in the game, but it's kind of been power crept, etc. Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. I was thinking just now about the big one that's missing, Magia. That got summoned on me today. The Necros stuff, we don't have the Necros reveals yet. And depending how that goes, these could absolutely skyrocket back and go crazy. So I would think about the Necros stuff. It had a bunch of buyouts heading into the set, and while this will add some repopulation, being in the nostalgia pool, want to be the greatest, and Necros are definitely something to consider in this rarity since it will be considered max. I love the Six Samurai stuff being in here, and from here we taper off into cheaper and cheaper stuff that I think you should go ahead and look through on your own personally. Overall though, you might get the theme that with these pre-sales, I do think some things are overpriced. I do think there are deals absolutely to be had though, as I pointed out specific cards, and I actually want to look up real quick if you're doing your order SP Little Knight. Let's see how that pulls up. Let's see their lowest rarity version. $6, yeah, so that's about in line with where the American pre-sales were at. And Triple Tactics Thrust, let's go ahead and look at some staples real quick. They have it around $8, which is lower. I think it started 10 at Gamer's Choice. Let's look up Triple Tactics Thrust. I said that it should be just like Talents and start out probably around 6 to 8, and they still do have it higher over here, so Tier 0 is winning specifically on Thrust, while Gamer's Choice is still taking their win, so shop around and feel things out for the cards you are hunting during the pre-sale range, which should be selective. You should be selective during pre-sales, and then let's also look up Bonfire real quick, because that should be pretty cheap. Yeah, $4. That's awesome. All right, so it does look like if you're building your cart, you should easily be getting towards free shipping. You can change US dollar up here or to wherever your currency is, and I think free shipping is like 80 pounds or something, 60 pounds, somewhere in there. You'll be able to check your cart and see if you've qualified. The biggest loser by far has been the 10s. We've talked about it, but look at how they are dipping back down to 150 already by a couple of sellers. I feel like when it comes to this, there are sometimes winners within a losing set. And Dark Magician Girl, we talked about how they're a special breed. Look how many are listed right now, and they're starting to dip under $10. People love making matching sets, and people aren't going to want to continue to open the 10s with how poor the value is getting unless the deal is right for how much value this is lost between Thrust and SP Little Knight, and how these are going to continue to come down if there's $6 offerings and similar rarities. Like, you know, these are going to bleed their value. Diabellstar, Wanted poster, Bonfire. So I think things like the altar arts may gain a little traction, but especially DMG, it's the classic art, it's MFC, and it matches that other set. While it's easier to pull, again, people are going to stop opening these, and I think that may end up creeping this specifically up as people match their set. So you might want to get that sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly, but that is still speculation, and the timing of that and if it will happen, completely uncertain. Sometimes it pans out, and other times people go, I got a QCR Dark Magician, I'm good with that, while others go, gotta get 3 of them all for the binder. Rage of Abyss. We have Dominus Impulse, and it's actually chilling out, and so is Fulos, just by $5 or so. But the cool thing about the Mulch Army is it's headed towards that typical $120 staple right now instead of the $150 that I was fearing. And when it comes to that, we are headed into the cool, chilly winter season where a lot of people during reprint season do sell everything off, wait to see those prices, jump on deals, and then get back in during the WCQ season when it's time to go for Nats. So I do think a lot of people are chilling not only from the meta, but from these crazy prices, and Dominus Impulse is also, after its heater, coming on down $5, $6, $7. And sorry for the thunderstorm outside, obviously can't control that if you're hearing it, but around, yeah, 66, and it quickly does bounce back towards 70 on this page, but people are willing to sell, make faster deals, and try to get cash in, especially when they see, you know, certain things on pre-sale they may end up wanting to get, and they think those will go up. We have Elixir of Black Awakening. Just to clarify, pre-sales are always gambling. You're going versus where the house makes the estimated value pull chop up, and you're playing what do I think is underpriced. I get it wrong sometimes, and I've been at this quarter century secret rare since 2002. I've been buy sell trading cards. So when it comes to making those calls, somebody as experienced as me will get it wrong. You're going to get it wrong sometimes too, most likely. And you're hedging that bet versus the stores of, does this make sense that it's underpriced? And we're already seeing stuff like Black Luster Soldier I called early going up. So I seem to have made some good calls early, but we still have to see the set come out. Elixir of Black Awakening got bought out here for the secret rare, and I did point out you might want to buy stuff for this archetype in secret, because otherwise you're stuck with gold and probably double sleeving for the thickness to make these not marked cards in your deck, because maximum gold is just so freaking thick. So if you don't want to be dealing with that and you like the new zombie stuff that does mesh with this deck, there goes one card, and the others aren't the highest quantities in the world for the secrets. Millennium Eyes Restrict is getting bought out for the Pharaoh rare. That's kind of interesting, and the other quantities are low, so you may want to get that sooner than later if you just want access to this card. I guess it getting missed in Bonanza sent a little signal flare up, and they're like, yeah, maybe we should be getting this. This is also good against the Mulch armies if I'm able to pop off with it. So this is just an interesting one to see, and it also, you know, is good against hand traps and certain things in general. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. I always try to be as forthright and honest as possible on my thoughts, and like I said, I can get it wrong too, but Tier 0 pre-sales definitely have some things to hunt in my opinion. I'm not trying to be negative when I say this is bloated, that is bloated, but I just don't think that these don't feel priced to where I think they would be good deals, but then there's specific singles that I think are great deals. And it's cool they're offering this in general for the person who's lazy or wants to sit back, might have bought a case, and instead of gambling goes for every plat secret. That's cool, but again, versus the price that I think they'll pan out at and how plat secrets will take a back seat to QCR, I just personally don't think the value in pre-sale range is there.